Hi everyone, I'm Mayor Melanie Keebler, and I am so excited to bring you this year the State of the City. We held this event on the east side of Bend for the first time and had a party in the park instead of a PowerPoint. Thank you for everyone who showed up for our State of the City event. I want to provide you my remarks here in case you missed it, so you can hear all about what we're doing for you as your City Council. We had a great time welcoming everyone to the State of the City as part of kicking off our Welcoming Week, which is an annual event that celebrates our city's core value of being a place for everyone. This is our 6th year celebrating Welcoming Week as part of a movement across the country to show we believe everyone belongs in our community. Bend is built from the contributions of everyone, people who were born here, people who moved here, immigrants and refugees, people of color, tribal members, youth and elders, and many more with varied backgrounds, viewpoints, and life experiences. We value how everyone here is bringing new ideas, serving in civic roles, and seeking to collaborate on our challenges and contributing to the diversity of our community. Having grown up in Bend myself, I've seen firsthand how Bend continues to grow, and I know that when I graduated from Bend High, our city population was only half the size it is now, about 50,000 people. We're now a city of over 100,000 people, and over the next 20 years, so by 2043, we're expected to gain about 40,000 new residents. As the saying goes, the only constant in life is change, and here in Bend, we know that fact to be very true. It's simply not possible to pull up the drawbridge and keep people from moving here. So it's vital that we plan for a sustainable future, one where everyone in Bend has the chance to thrive, with a place to live they can afford, a job that pays the bills, and a community where they feel welcome and safe. So today I want to talk with you about how the City of Bend and your City Council are stepping up to meet the challenges of growth and plan for Bend's future. First, as we grow, we need enough housing to support our entire community, and we're required by state law to plan for enough housing to meet the needs of those 40,000 new residents arriving by 2043. When I talk to people about housing in Bend, we talk a lot about two things: availability and cost. For years, Oregon has underbuilt the amount of homes we need for the people who live here. We need more housing, and we need more housing that people can afford. The city is working on this issue from every angle and exploring every tool we have available to address the housing crisis, from those who need shelter, to those who are building housing, to those who are hoping to buy their first home. We're doing our part and doing it while investing in exciting central neighborhoods like the Bend Central District, where redevelopment can bring thousands of new homes. I'm also proud to report that from 2021 to 2023, the city supported the creation of nearly 1,000 deed-restricted affordable homes, where the rental and purchase price is held down to an amount someone making less than the area median income can afford. We changed codes and policies to make building an ADU in your backyard easier, and to make it easier to build multifamily homes in lots across the city. In fact, we now have a pre-approved ADU plans available, meaning you don't have to wait for someone to review your building plans and can get that ADU built more quickly. One of the very visible, heartbreaking consequences of a housing market where rent and mortgages are unaffordable to so many is the fact that more people are experiencing homelessness in our community. Since I first took office as a councilor in 2021, and now as your mayor, addressing homelessness has been a top priority. Homelessness has increased every year in our community for the past decade. In 2023, our local service providers reported that over 1,600 individuals in Central Oregon are experiencing homelessness, and that's according to the annual one-night count of those experiencing homelessness in our region. Since the beginning of the 2022 school year, 676 students and kids were identified as homeless, and it continues to grow, according to our local school districts. These numbers are increasing similarly across the state, and it is not acceptable. It's the reason Governor Kotek has declared a homelessness emergency. Collaboration is key to solving homelessness, but as a city, we cannot sit back and wait for others to provide solutions for us. Bend has led the way in Central Oregon, changing our code to make it easier and faster to create safe parking sites, outdoor shelters, and emergency shelters, investing in a navigation center, converting motels into places for elders and families with kids to stabilize, and enacting a reasonable camping code to provide clarity and safety on publicly owned streets. We have raised this conversation to the state level, creating a coordinated houseless response office with bipartisan support in Salem. And we've leveraged state and COVID federal relief dollars to acquire, renovate, and operate a variety of emergency shelter options ranging from tiny home villages to overnight shelters. We also continue to double down on deed-restricted affordable housing and middle housing investments, and our efforts are working to help people out of homelessness. For example, the Lighthouse Navigation Center, run by our fantastic partner Shepherd's House, has not only operated 24/7, keeping people out of the elements year-round, but they also, in their first year, moved 230 people out of homelessness. All this while they almost constantly operate at or over capacity, serving over 100,000 meals and helping 400 individuals per month. Similarly, we're seeing our other solutions I mentioned that have been created since 2021, regularly helping participants not only to get off the street, but to find their next housing step. The theme of our safe parking program, Stepping Stone Shelter, and Lighthouse Navigation Center is stabilization and access to services. Without stabilizing in a safe living situation, people have difficulty accessing the services they need, whether it's financial help, veterans benefits access, addiction services, or mental and behavioral health help. Bend is making a difference with these solutions by providing a stable place for people to access services that are provided by the county and other social service nonprofits. We will continue to advocate for a coordination with and increased mental health and addiction treatment services needed at the county, state, and federal level to keep helping people off the street and into stable homes. Next, as we grow, we must build a public safety system that is ready to take care of our community and our environment. In recognition of this, 4 months ago, the voters passed our local fire levy. Thank you. This funding will allow our fire and rescue department to keep up with growth and keep those response times low. I hope no one ever has to call 911 for a medical emergency, but if you do, you can know you'll receive the top-notch care from our fire department. This is the 5th year in a row that the Bend Fire and Rescue Department has received an American Heart Association award for their treatment of patients who experience heart attacks. One of our goals we continue to meet and will continue to meet, thanks to the fire levy funding, is responding to emergency calls within 6 minutes. These fast response times literally save lives, something our hardworking firefighters are striving to do every day. So thank you to our fire department. Now, we can't be here in September, late fire season, without talking about wildfires, which we know are burning hotter and bigger due to climate change. And we know that we are at risk of that happening here, so we need to plan and be prepared. Not only does our fire department do an excellent job fighting fire within Bend and the surrounding rural area, they're an excellent partner for homeowners and neighborhoods when it comes to making your plan on how to be fire safe and fire wise. Our fire department will happily come out and talk to you about how to own your zone by clearing your property of fuels and how to protect your home from fire risk. They'll also talk to you about signing up for Deschutes County alerts in case of emergency or evacuation. You can Google Deschutes County alerts sign up and go right now to sign up for those alerts. The county emergency team will thank you for doing so because that is the best way to receive information in any type of emergency. We've also built out our own City Department of Emergency Management here at the city to develop even more planning resources and a community preparedness program, so stay tuned for that soon. Unfortunately, I'm now going to talk about a different kind of emergency that our community went through a little over a year ago, one that we all hoped would never happen here, the horrific shooting at our Eastside Safeway. We continue to mourn the loss of the victims, Glenn Edward Bennett and Donald Ray Surratt Jr., and we are grateful for the swift and brave response from our Bend police officers who ran into an active shooter situation in order to stop the violence. We continue to support our police department with the training and technology they need to do their jobs. It's a cruel reality that Bend is not immune to the epidemic of gun violence that plagues this country on a daily basis. This summer, 33-year-old Taylor Weiss was shot and killed on a downtown sidewalk. And we continue to remember Barry Washington Jr., also shot and killed near Wall Street. We know that in Deschutes County, we also continue to have an unacceptably high rate of suicide by gun. So I want to take a moment and say thank you to all of those in our community who have held each other up, comforted one another, encouraged people to seek help, and worked together to heal from the tragedies that have occurred. We are a strong community, and we cannot become numb to these losses of life. Gun violence is not inevitable, it is preventable, and your city council will continue to advocate for policies to end the epidemic of shootings so everyone can feel safe. We also want to empower our residents and businesses to get accurate and up-to-date information on crime statistics or other relevant public safety data. We've recently launched a comprehensive data dashboard that can detail calls for service, crime trends, and other critical data mapped for your street, your neighborhood, or on a citywide level. One example of information you can find at policedata.bendoregon.gov is our case reports, where you will see that our case reports per year remain lower overall than they were in 2019. To touch on another aspect of safety, as we grow, we know we need to create more and better options for people to move around Bend safely. The city of Bend manages almost 900 lane miles of roadways around the city. And during the summer, it sure feels like we're doing construction on all of them. I live in the southeast corner of town, so I felt the pain of all the closures on Wilson and Pettigrew, Neff, Ferguson, and really want to thank everyone for your patience. We're constantly working to maintain and improve our transportation system, and these construction projects are helping us to create smoother roads, better water and sewer delivery, and safer intersections. The Transportation Go bond that you all voted to pass in 2020 has been critical to getting those safety improvements going. If you traveled on Wilson Avenue recently, you know that our new roundabouts allow you to actually get through the intersections at 9th and 15th without a long queue. We've also added a wide path for pedestrians and a protected bike lane, and we now have our very first roundabout with protection for people who cycle. I'm excited for the next phase of Wilson to be completed this fall, as we know we need those better east-west connections across our city. Another exciting project coming our way due to the GO bond is the Midtown Crossings project. Not only will we be improving the crossings at Franklin and Greenwood, we've been awarded $25 million in state and federal grants to fund the Hawthorne overcrossing. This new bridge will be an iconic connector of East and West Bend. It will not only provide safety and connectivity for people who walk, bike, and roll, but it will also catalyze redevelopment of housing and jobs within the Bend Central District. It's a huge step forward for our transportation system, and it wouldn't have happened without voters supporting the transportation bond. So thank you again for investing in our transportation future. Now, as I said before, the City of Bend already maintains almost 900 miles of streets, doing everything from repaving and striping to pothole repair to sweeping and plowing. When our transportation system plan was created in 2021, the Bend community provided input about the priorities and ways they want to achieve the goal of not only maintaining our transportation system, but also enhancing it so everyone can move around town safely and efficiently. One goal the City Council is working hard to achieve is finding new ways to sustain our transportation system. We legally can't use those GO bond dollars for maintenance and operations because they have to be devoted to building new projects only. And the city is in the process of changing how and what developers pay to build and Bend. Those charges help in part fund transportation, but again, only can pay for new projects, not operation, maintenance, or transportation programs. A transportation fee, charged like the existing stormwater fee, is another way to help fill the funding gap. And this fee was the top recommendation of the community group that oversaw the transportation system plan. And right now, we're working to implement that plan as equitably as possible. The City Council will continue the process of getting feedback from community members through roundtable discussions and meeting with neighborhoods, and we would love to talk with you about our transportation system. Feel free to send an email to councilald@bendoregon.gov, and we would be happy to talk with you about it. As we grow, we continue to plan for how we care and conserve our water supply. A question I hear often is whether we have enough water for people in Bend, and I'm happy to report that we do. In fact, our conservation efforts have helped us to actually slightly lower the amount of water we are using over the past years, even though our population has grown. For example, in 2022, we reached the lowest amount of water used per person in 10 years. And get this, 7 million gallons of water were saved over the past year just by the city's sprinkler inspection program. So please don't water the sidewalks and fix your broken sprinklers ASAP to help us conserve water. Though Bend uses only 2% of the water in the Deschutes River Basin, we have to continue to plan to conserve our water. We recently updated our water management and conservation plan, and the city will continue to maintain and enhance our conservation efforts for the years to come. We've got to protect our award-winning drinking water, which continues to meet or surpass all of our state and federal safe drinking water standards every year. Now, out of all the things I just talked about, I'm sure you have some questions and ideas about at least one of them. We would love to connect with you about what your city government is doing for you, what your city council's goals are, and how we're achieving them. So please reach out, come to a meeting, and we will be happy to direct you to the right department or the right counselor, the right person to talk to about what you want to learn about and how you want to get involved. If there's one thing I know about Bend, it's this. We are a community that has always adapted to meet the challenges of our time. From a mill town to a mountain town, we've shown our ability to collaborate, innovate, and plan for what's next. And I hope that as we all walk into the future together, you'll join your city council and the city of Bend in owning that future and setting a course that our kids and grandkids can be proud of. I'm excited and honored to lead us there. Thank you.